It's 6:46, so our next guest is one of our all-time favourites, whose many songs include Wild World and First Cut is the Deepest, crosses the generations.
Well, now, Yusuf, Cat Stevens is celebrating 5 decades since the release of the 1970s albums that propelled him to international stardom. And Yusuf joins us in just a moment. First, let's enjoy one of his greatest hits, Father and Son.
But take your time, think a lot. Why think of everything you've got? For you will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. How can I try to explain? 'Cause when I do, he turns away again. It's always been the same old story. From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. Now there's a way, and I know that I have to go away.
So that's Father and Son there. Yusuf joins us now. Good morning to you. Thanks very much for joining us this morning. And listen,
nice to be with you.
What a beautiful song. It is so lovely to hear that this morning. And I know as part of this celebration, you've got the 50th anniversary box sets out. And as part of it, you've re-recorded this version of Father and Son where you've duetted with yourself, which is quite extraordinary. How was that process for you?
It was, it was like magic because, well, now you can do all this with virtual, digital, technology. And we found this perfect recording from the Troubadour back in 1970 of me singing that with only just a guitar and the voice. So we were able to take the voice really clean and just plonk it in, and then I sang the dad's part. But to be honest, I still like singing the son's part. So I'm going to get back to doing that probably live.
But it's quite interesting. I mean, do you think if you'd have sort of pictured it back in the 1970s when you originally performed that this is what you'd be doing all those years later? It's quite something, isn't it?
Well, it is. We don't really, we can't see into the future yet. Somehow, some of my songs sort of did for a little bit, So, I mean, now I'm the father, and I was the son. And Wild World, well, that's another kind of peep into the way the world is and the way the world's going. Where do the children play? I mean, sometimes as an artist, you never know what's going to happen. But the making of Tea for the Tillerman was just, it happened, you did it, we were involved. And then later you realize you've really, it's a kind of masterpiece. And that's what a lot of people say. And, and then you say, wow, that's great, and it still lasts.
It's amazing, though, isn't it? I think it's amazing, Yusuf, that you're looking back, and these albums still stand the test of time. Like you say, they're described as masterpieces, but you can look back. Often, music or cultural references tend to age very quickly, but there is something very timeless about the songs that you were able to write and that still mean and resonate so much to people today.
Yeah, you pick up on these themes of life, and sometimes, like for instance, even if you take the song like Longer Boats, originally I wrote it about, aliens, I was thinking, well, maybe it's true, maybe aliens came down here and started life, and that was like an idea, and but later, of course, I gave that up. But the idea of Longer Boats, of people coming to invade your space, and people, the fear, the myth, those kind of things. So that all these subliminal things, which actually you write about, you don't really know you're doing it, but it's all relevant, very relevant.
You're joining us from Dubai this morning. I think it's had a low rate of coronavirus there, hasn't it? How have the past few months been for you?
Well, it's been really good. Well, sorry, I mean, it's not been great, but having to, you can't go out and do the normal things, but the grandkids come over, so we've got that. As well as that, I've got a lot of space and time to catch up on work and creative projects like animation for kids. Also able to talk about and organize my charity work from here. We've now launched Peace Train. So now it's not just lyrics. We've got wheels. And we're delivering food, you know, to various townships and communities, wherever we can find, you know, wherever we can get to. In the UK, we've actually provided breakfast for kids, you know, and that even began before the COVID thing started. Yeah. So from here, I can do so many things, and the COVID, you know, experience has just helped me to be able to concentrate and focus.
Which is great. I mean, you did have to cancel your tour, didn't you? You had a tour planned for 2020. So despite the fact that you've not been on tour, you've not been able to perform, you've kept yourself busy. There's a lot of people watching this morning that have really struggled through lockdown, of course, Yusuf, that are in the sort of older age bracket. They're having to shield, they're having to be concerned about their health. And the arrival of the vaccine for many people has been seen as a hugely important moment. I wonder what your thoughts are on the vaccine. When eventually you are sort of able to take the vaccine, will you be taking it?
I reckon so, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll make sure a few people have taken it before me. You know, I'll be back in the sort of last part of the line, you know, watching out. But no, yeah, I think it's great because science. That's what it's for. You know, when science does this kind of thing, then we can all rejoice, you know, and be happy. And I think that's now a lot of people are, as you say, you know, they've gone through pretty much hell, you know, to have to sort of stay at home and not go out and you know, not breathe the air, not run in the park, all those things that we normally do, or shopping, whatever. It's very, very difficult. But this is also a time for reflection. If I look back at my life, a big turning point came when I had tuberculosis. Now, when you have tuberculosis, you can't visit anybody. Nobody can visit you. But that was a time for me to actually think and get my life straightened out in my own mind. So it can be used positively if people take it that way.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It can be sort of a chance for reflection and a bit of a reset, can't it? Yusuf, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yusuf there, Cat Stevens.
Certainly seems like Yusuf has been incredibly busy and reflective and has managed to sort out an amazing charity that he's doing there.
Yeah, creative things and charity things as well that will make a huge difference.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
Lots more